Hey y'all, Sarah here at Hillside Acres, and today we are in the kitchen. We were blessed with some fresh herbs from some friends of ours, so we are going to try our hand at dehydrating some of them. We do not have a dark, warm place to be able to hang them to dry. Eventually in the future, I'm hoping we can get something figured out to be able to dry, like hang dry herbs. But until then, we're going to try our hand at dehydrating them. This is our first time and our first attempt at it, so if it doesn't go great, we will, at least we tried and we can learn for in the future. But before we get started on that, I'm going to give you guys a kitchen tour because I know if you guys are as nosy as I am, you're going to, you're curious what's going on in the background, what does our kitchen look like? Whenever I'm watching, some fellow YouTubers, that's always my thing. I'm like, ooh, what does their kitchen look like? How's it set up? What's the layout? Our kitchen is it's like a long, narrow kitchen. We have cabinets and our refrigerator and a countertop on one side, and then on the other side we have our stove, our sink, and some more counter space. So it's kind of hard to, be able to set the camera back and be able to get a good angle. So I'm going to show you guys the layout just so you can kind of understand why we may have some funky angles whenever we're doing our videos. So let's get started with that. This is the doorway walking from our dining room to our kitchen. And then you walk in and directly to your right is our stove. And then our sink, and then that door straight ahead leads you to our laundry room. And then that door there is where our hot water heater is. And then on the left side of the kitchen, walking in from the dining room, is our dishwasher, which we just added this year when we remodeled. And then our refrigerator, and then we have a lot of cabinets. Our cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling. And then we have our countertop on the left side. And then on the right side we have our cabinets and our stove. And then there's our sink. And we have a lot of cabinet space. I cannot complain about cabinet space in this kitchen. I absolutely love how much counter space we have. If you hear that horrible sound in the background, that's our dryer. It needs a new bearing. We have it ordered. Corey just has to put it on whenever it gets here. But yeah, this is our kitchen. And like I said, it is like long. And so finding a good place to put the camera so I could film is a little on the hard side. We do also, you'll probably notice we don't have our trim up in our kitchen yet. We started remodeling in March of 2023, which was the beginning of this year, and then we kind of we haven't made it all the way around yet. We kind of got burnt out a little bit. So we still need the trim around the floor, and then we need the trim around the doors and the windows. But other than that, everything is pretty much done aside from just the trim. And then we do have like a couple of spots, like the cabinets. We're all facing different directions. And so when we took all the cabinets on, or the cabinet doors off and rehung them, I made them face all the right direction. So that way they all open up in unison, the same direction. And so there's holes at the top where the handles used to be. And those are, we're going to fill those and then just paint them. But yeah, this is our kitchen. Nothing special. And I know our stove looks super, super old, but it is amazing. When we remodeled, we did plan on like taking it outside and like sanding it and painting it black so it would match. We just haven't gotten around to that yet, but I don't want to get rid of it because it works so good. And I'm one of those people, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So until it actually goes out, we're keeping it. So yep, that's our kitchen. So the first thing we are going to start with is the parsley. We got a nice amount of parsley. So obviously we're going to wash it. So I've got my strainer, as we call it. Some people call it a colander, I guess. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these washed, and then I will bring you guys back in just a bit. Okay, so now that we got those washed, we're just going to take them and we are going to cut the stems off. And we are going to try our best to just get it like, you see like right here, like right above where the leaves are, just cut right there and that'll be good. And all of our stems are going to go to our chickens because we try our best not to waste anything here. If we don't eat it, then something on the farm does. Hopefully, eventually, when we get pigs, we'll be able to have, a little bit more of the opportunity to, save our scraps. But our chickens pretty much eat everything, so they are a blessing when it comes to not wanting to waste anything. So I am going to get these cut. Like I said, you're just going to try to get most of the leaves cut and cut the stems off. And then I will bring you back whenever I have that done. So we have a nice little bowl full of the cut fresh parsley. And then this is our bowl of all of the stems. And there's some cucumber in there too that we cut up earlier. Okay. And then we also got some fresh rosemary. I wish you could smell this. It smells good. So we are going to, because the rosemary is kind of all on the stem, the only thing we're really going to do is wash it. Sorry. I know you can't really see me. We're going to wash it really, really good, and then we are just going to lay it down on the dehydrator as well. So with the parsley, you will see that I didn't cut like all of the stem off. Like here's the big stem that I cut off, and it was like, attached. I didn't cut all of it off because once these are dehydrated, you just crumple it all up, and those are going to crumple up just fine. You won't even really know. But anyway, all those scraps are going to go to the chickens. We're going to get our rosemary cleaned up really, really good, and then whenever I get over to the dehydrator, I will show you guys that. Okay, so I did end up cutting a little bit of the ends off the rosemary just to make it to where it'll fit a little bit better. But I got them all washed up and cut. This is our dehydrator. It is a Weston Gamekeeper. My husband actually got it to make deer turkey with. But a dehydrator is a dehydrator. From what I've read and was told, whenever you are dehydrating fresh herbs, you want to stick to about 95 degrees. Unfortunately, my dehydrator, the lowest temperature that it will go is 100. So I'm going to go ahead and just do it at 100, see how it turns out. I will check it, and I probably won't let it go. I know some of the videos I watched and the information I found is it's typically 10 to 12 hours to dehydrate these. I'm going to probably check back at in 8 hours and see what it's looking like, just because my temperature is going to be higher. That 5 degrees will make a bigger difference, and it will dehydrate faster. And you don't want to dehydrate it at too hot of a temperature, because then you're going to lose the nutrition, and you're going to lose the smell and some of the flavoring. So yeah, let me get these loaded. We have these little mesh trays that we can put down in our dehydrator, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and put the parsley on. And I'm just kind of, sprinkling it in here, nothing too crazy. Definitely give it some room, but you don't have to completely space it out to where it's not touching. Okay, there is tray 1. I got about 2 trays of the parsley. Which once this is dehydrated and like, taken, um, take it like smushed up, it's gonna make a lot of parsley. So it's kind of one of those one and done kind of things. I'm hoping that it's not something we'll have to do a lot. We don't actually cook with a lot of fresh spices or herbs, and so this is actually going to be interesting to kind of figure out new ways to incorporate these and see how they, make our recipes that we are already making. See how they taste and how, just prepare us for next year because, this year I really wanted to do a big garden. But like I said, we were remodeling our home and it was a lot of work. We had to, like, previously our home was all like paneling because our house was built originally in the 70s. And so it was just like the old paneling. And so, let's see if I can get a better angle. This is, like I said, it's hard because our kitchen is like that awkward. Hold on, there's my hand. Okay. It's like the awkward tube kitchen, I guess you could say. But anyway, I'm gonna get these trays back on. Get the lid on. And I'm going to set my temp to the lowest they have, which is 100 degrees. And then time, I'm going to go ahead and set for 8 hours, and then I'm going to come back and check on that. And I will bring you back in the 8 hours, and we'll get a look at what they look like. It is the next day, and we ended up letting these all dehydrate for a total of 10 hours at 100 degrees in our dehydrator. And so now we're just going to take them out, and we're going to dump the parsley into a bowl. Okay, and then we are going to take that bowl. I'm trying to get where you can see me. And we are just going to use our hands, and we are just going to crunch and crunch and kind of just crunch them all up. Nothing perfect. Just keep crunching until you get like a real thin consistency. They will crunch down real small. Okay, and then we are just going to be saving them in a mason jar. I labeled the mason jar with just a piece of masking tape. And these are just for our use, so using bare hands is, I washed my hands beforehand. I don't have a mason jar funnel yet. I need to add that to our stuff that we have. We just don't have one at the moment. I'm going to order one of the actual, like canning kits that has like the funnel and everything like that. I just don't have that yet. Because, like I said, we are new to preserving. The only thing we've made in the past is we did make pickles the year before last because our garden did decent, or at least the pickles did really good. And so, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but fresh parsley, right? Okay, and the rosemary, we are just going to put the whole stick in. These dehydrated all really well. I'm really happy with how they ended up. And you might not want to dehydrate like 2 different herbs together. I'm not sure how it could affect them. But I mean, the rosemary smells like rosemary. The parsley smelled like parsley. So, in my opinion, it didn't really make a difference to do the 2 different herbs together. But I'm not a professional at all. Like I said, this is my very first time. I'm really happy with how they turned out. Being my first time, I will say that dehydrated herbs makes for very quick and easy cleanup. Like, when we dehydrate jerky, it makes such a mess. And sometimes it just can be too much, you know. But I got all that done. And now we have some freshly dehydrated rosemary. And we are going to put these in our pantry and figure out some good recipes to use with them. Thank you guys for watching. Just a recap. When you're dehydrating herbs, make sure you have a dehydrator that has a fan so that way it circulates really well. And do not dehydrate them over like 100 degrees. 95 to 100 degrees is perfect. If you're doing 95 degrees, you're going to dehydrate them for about 12 hours. If you're doing 100 degrees, it takes about 10. And yeah, these will probably last, once they're dry, I'm going to use them within the next 6 months just to be on the safe side. I don't know exactly how long exactly. I'd have to look that up. Eventually, I'm going to get one of those vacuum sealer lids that go on mason jars, and so it'll like vacuum seal it. And then I'm sure if you did that, it would last a lot longer. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to use these within the next 6 months. If you would, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Not only does it help our little farm, but it helps our family out. And we would love to be able to grow our YouTube family. And we appreciate the time that you take out of your day to watch our videos. Until next time, thank you.